Imagine walking into your favorite coffee shop. You glance at the counter and see John ordering a $7 latte every single morning. At first, it seems harmless. $7 here, $7 there. But over a year, that latte habit quietly drains over $2,500. You don't see it happening, but silently, John's money is slipping through the cracks. Welcome to the world of small purchases that quietly ruin you. Most people think financial ruin comes from massive mistakes. Buying a house you can't afford, losing a big investment, or making a bad career move. And while those are real, what's far more dangerous is the slow, almost invisible drain, the tiny choices we make every day to feel comfortable or to signal status. It's emotional, too. Social pressure is everywhere. John might feel insecure seeing others flaunt their gadgets, clothes, or vacations. Insecurity whispers that if he doesn't spend, he doesn't belong. But here's the truth. Those purchases often do more to enrich corporations than to build John's wealth. John, a young professional earning a decent salary. He loves his morning rituals and wants to feel part of a successful crowd. He buys the $7 coffee every day, orders food delivery multiple times a week instead of cooking, subscribes to multiple streaming services, and upgrades his phone every year. Individually, none of these purchases feels catastrophic. But collectively, over months and years, John is silently giving away tens of thousands of dollars. Money he could have used to build real assets. This is the hidden danger of small purchases. They are often unrecoverable. Unlike a one-time investment, you can't recover the cost of a latte John drank last week. You can't sell last month's online shopping spree for its original value. It is gone. And when these habits stack up, they quietly sabotage his ability to invest, save, and build wealth. Let's put numbers to it. If John spends $30 a week on snacks and coffee, that's $1,560 a year. If he adds $50 a week on unnecessary subscriptions, he's giving away another $2,600. Combine that with occasional splurges, like a $1,000 gadget every 6 months, and suddenly John has spent over $5,000 in a single year on things that do not create long-term value. Multiply that across 10 years, and he has lost over $50,000 that could have grown exponentially if invested wisely. That is the compounding cost of invisible spending. Now let's talk about opportunity cost. Every small purchase is a choice between instant gratification and long-term gain. That $7 latte, those subscriptions, the gadgets, they all have an invisible price tag in John's future wealth. This is why financial experts often say, pay yourself first. Every dollar John spends on fleeting satisfaction is a dollar he is denying himself for growth, security, and freedom. Here's a mini story. John decided to take a different approach one year. Instead of buying the newest phone or ordering takeout daily, he spent just $10 less per day on non-essential items and invested that difference. After a few years, John had accumulated a significant sum in a diversified investment portfolio. The small purchases he had once thought harmless had quietly been replaced by assets that grew steadily over time. Some might object, but prices rise. If John doesn't upgrade, he'll be left behind. That's valid, but it's important to distinguish between genuine needs and social pressures. Inflation affects necessary costs, not lifestyle choices. And a fixed budget, used intentionally, can create freedom instead of restriction. By consciously choosing which small purchases matter and which don't, John takes control rather than being controlled. Another objection is emotional. John deserves to treat himself. Absolutely. Treating yourself is healthy and important. The trick is intentionality. John asks himself, does this purchase create joy, comfort, or growth? Or does it simply signal to others that he made it? Is he building equity in his life, or is he paying to advertise someone else's success? Lifestyle freedom is another crucial factor. Small purchases can tie John down. High monthly spending limits his options to move, travel, or pursue new opportunities. They create invisible obligations. A $100 habit here, a $200 habit there, it doesn't feel heavy day to day, but over time, it reduces John's mobility and flexibility. Those who are intentional with small spending gain freedom to change cities, start businesses, or take calculated risks because their money is working for them, not for status symbols. Stress reduction also comes into play. Financial habits impact mental health. Constantly chasing trends, comparing himself to others, or trying to signal success through purchases is exhausting. It's a treadmill with no finish line. By identifying and curbing these quiet drains, John reclaims time, energy, and peace of mind. He can focus on skills, experiences, and investments that grow him, not just his appearance. Let's talk actionable strategies. First, John audits his spending. He tracks every purchase for a month. He identifies which ones are habits, social pressures, or impulse buys. The results often shock. Second, he implements the 24-hour rule. Before every non-essential purchase, he waits a day. This pause allows his rational mind to evaluate necessity and impact. Third, John adopts the invest first, spend later mindset. Before buying, he asks, am I paying myself first, or am I feeding a habit that benefits no one but the seller? Another practical rule is the 10-foot principle. If a purchase exists primarily to signal status to others and can be recognized from 10 feet away, John questions its value. True quality and wealth are often quiet and invisible. Subtle investments in skills or assets matter more than the visible flash of a logo or gadget. Finally, John cultivates awareness of opportunity cost. Every dollar spent is a dollar that could have earned returns elsewhere. Whether investing in a diversified portfolio, building an emergency fund, or funding skill acquisition, redirecting small habitual purchases can yield enormous compounding effects over time. Here's a challenge. John takes one small habitual purchase, maybe a morning coffee, weekly delivery, or brand name accessory, and replaces it with a deliberate investment for just 1 month. He tracks the impact, not just financially, but in his mindset and awareness. Slowly, the invisible weight of these purchases lifts, and freedom grows. Small purchases don't need to be villainized. They are a tool, a choice. But when left unchecked, they quietly erode John's wealth, his options, and even his peace of mind. Recognizing them and making conscious decisions transforms money from a passive drain into a powerful ally. It's not about deprivation, it's about prioritization, intentionality, and building real value. Think of it this way, John's money is like water. If he lets it flow through cracks in his wallet on meaningless habits, it disappears. If he channels it into a reservoir of assets, it accumulates, grows, and sustains him. The small purchases John makes today define the financial landscape he lives in tomorrow. John had the same income year after year, but what set him apart wasn't luck, it was conscious choices about small, habitual spending. Over time, these decisions compounded into radically different financial realities. And that's the power of attention to detail. The quiet decisions, not the grand gestures, shape wealth. So, here's the takeaway. Stop letting social pressure dictate spending. Evaluate every purchase with clarity. Ask yourself, does this enhance life, or does it simply signal to others? Invest first, spend second. Protect freedom, mobility, and mental peace. The small purchases that quietly ruin John can be transformed into small purchases that quietly grow him, his assets, and his future. If this video made you rethink your daily spending habits, drop a comment below. Tell me about one small purchase you realized was draining your finances. Hit like if you found this perspective valuable, and subscribe